Greetings, my fellow Airsoft nerds. My name is James. I am one of the owners of the field. I am also your OP Homefront OIC. I'm the guy that's doing pretty much everything for this. So I'm writing up the event. I'm, doing all the rules, the uniform restrictions, equipment, blah blah blah. This guy is OP Homefront. In this video, we're going to sort of break down the event and talk about the rules, maybe give you a better understanding of things, and go over check-in. I will be opening the registration on the 17th of October. That's going to be after Weekend Z, because I feel like, you just did TAC League, and then you're going to do Weekend Z. So I'm not trying to cram a whole lot to be like, I have to buy this, I have to buy this, I have to buy this. So I'm kind of like spacing this out a little bit longer. If you have any questions, the best ways to get a hold of us is going to be in our Discord server. If you don't have Discord, but you have Facebook, we have these two Facebook groups for the specific factions. Now, if you request to join the faction-specific Discord channel or Facebook group, I am going to vet you to make sure that you actually have prepaid for your ticket. I'm going to want to know what your name is, what your ticket order is and all that stuff, so I can prevent, the 345th guys from jumping into, the first infantry chat and, OPSEC violations and stuff. If you don't have any of those forms of social media, you can get a hold of us. You just email us. The email for this event to get a hold of me is czpaint530@gmail.com. If you're on Facebook, you can also just follow the field's Facebook page or send us a DM through that. That's perfectly fine. If you're on Instagram, make sure you're following our main field account at czpaintball. You can also follow the secondary, which is czpaint530. That's our backup account. You don't need to worry about that. But I have given you a whole bunch of ways to get a hold of me directly. Starting about the 7th of November, I'm going to start publishing the roster. So just like the names of everyone that's registered and what faction you're on. Not like your email or personal information or anything crazy like that. But just so you know what platoon, squad, and team you're in and where your buddies are. So we could sort of start planning things now. The idea, similar to Milsim West, is we're going to have as many groups as reasonably possible for factions, and then you guys can start planning in the groups, talking about your loadouts, talking to your platoon leaders, your faction commanders, and so on. For this event, Enola Gaye smoke grenades and EG67s are authorized. However, you have to buy them through us. You cannot bring in outside Enola Gaye, pyro stuff, any of that stuff. Nope. It has to be purchased through us. Item pre-orders are going to stop about the 21st of November. That way we make sure we have all the inventory in before the event starts. We will also have a little bit of excess in case you either want to buy more or you just don't know if you'll be able to pre-order for insert reason here. But we will have stuff at the field on site that you can purchase. You could read through the backstory if you want. It's just, we're in the third Cold War because somehow we had a second one, which is not part of this specific meta, but it is the Motherland Forces versus the new United States. For this specific event, it is not geared at new players. So if hey, this is the first time my friend's gonna play Airsoft, cool. I would love for them to come, but this is really designed for pre-existing players that want something at a higher level than what public play is. So even at a higher level than what our monthly Milsim days are. This has uniform mandates, equipment mandates. If you do not adhere to the rules, I ain't gonna let you play on my field. The overall format for this game is basically 3-point domination. You could read through the point system, but essentially the way it works out is the longer you consecutively hold on to a control point, the more points you're going to get. That's really how it boils down at its basic function. Everything else after that is really just an emphasis on sort of the military cosplay. So for this first event that we are running for Combat Zone, from everyone that I've talked to, or at least an overwhelming majority of players that I've interacted with, both online surveys and in person, an overwhelming majority have never been to Lion Claws or Milsim West or American Milsim. They've never been to any large-scale Milsim event. So this is an entry level. So that's why the gameplay for this isn't that complicated. But the real emphasis, realistically, is on military cosplay, as far as uniforms and being able to positively identify targets by what they're wearing, what guns you can and cannot use, stuff like that. I do have 2 events that I'm planning for next year that will have a more advanced format, and I am perfectly open to changing this format to be more advanced later, but the way I'm running this current event this year is going to be very simple. Again, because I'm expecting the average player to really not know a whole lot about this style of play. For this event, every player will need full seal and rated eye protection. Not your stupid little ski goggles, no. Full seal and rated. We will be checking. We will kick you out if you don't comply. Minors, so players 17 and under, are going to have to wear some sort of hard face protection, like, mesh mask, stuff like that. If you're an adult, don't care. If you are 18 and older, the minimum safety standard for you is full seal and rated eye protection. Yay! For this event, you can wear die 4s, die 5s. We don't care. It's not like a 24-hour or 48-hour thing like Milsim West. It's just one day. We're doing about 2-hour iterations. You can wear. In fact, I encourage die mass, HK mass, all that stuff. I highly encourage that. For this event, I am not allowing players younger than 13 to participate. Again, this is a little bit higher level of an event, so I'm wanting to sort of give this to the sort of older players in Airsoft, which is really just teenagers and above. If you are between the ages of 13 and 15, you have to be accompanied by a parent or legal guardian that is also registered. So let's say your dad can't make it, but your uncle's going. Cool. Then your uncle is your legal guardian for the day. Or your older brother. That's fine. I don't care who that legal guardian is, as long as your parents said, yeah, that's fine. No drugs or alcohol. Do that afterwards. These are the items that every player is going to have. Obviously, you're going to have your face protection, your eye protection. That's sort of a gimme. Your faction uniform top, I will go over that. Up to 3 bandages. If you want to bring 1, you could bring 1. If you like to walk, but you can bring up to 3. Most of the time, if you've been to an event, those ace-style bandages that guys will wrap, those are fine. If you're a true aim player and you have like those green and orange Velcro armbands, those are fine, just like our normal true aim Milsim Day rules. Or if you just want to bring 3 Milsim West style tourniquets or 3 mock tourniquets, that's fine too. Do not, please, I beg you, do not bring real tourniquets. You're also going to need a red dead rag, or just a dead rag as they call it in Airsoft. We will be supplying those, and they will be free with entry. If most kids probably already have them, but you will be getting one free with entry. You're going to need a water source on you. I don't care if it's like a little bottle of water in your cargo pocket, or if you got a camelback. On your person, you need to bring water. Even though it's going to be in December, trust me, you're going to want to bring water, because you're not going to want to get off the field. This is going to be a couple hours at a time. You're not going to want to go off the field, because you're just going to be having so much fun. Because you're not going to want to go off the field, you might dehydrate yourself. So that's why you need to bring water and keep it on you, or at least like at respawn at your main base, that's fine. But you need to keep water somewhere easily accessible other than your car or the staging area. If you're a pistol, sniper, or DMR user, you're gonna need a secondary. So most guys are gonna run pistols. I'll go over the weapons rules and stuff in a bit. The big question everyone always has is, what do I wear? If you are with the 1st Infantry Regiment, you are only allowed to wear US camouflage patterns. If I've left out a pattern in this that you're wondering about, just go ahead and send me a message. I'm sure I just forgot. I tried to remember all of the ones that I could. So your multicam, and that also includes like OCP, Scorpion, blah, blah, blah. ACU, AOR type, or your type 1s, type 2s, Merpat, the ABUs, blah, blah, blah. Even the chocolate chip stuff from like the Desert Storm desert camo, you can wear that, that's fine. Desert Night camo, or some kids call it Desert Night parka, that's fine, you can wear that. But it has to be a US pattern. So if you like desert camouflage, cool, wear the DCU stuff that they were wearing in OIF 1 through 3. But what you can't wear is British desert camouflage or the Australian camouflage stuff. It has to be a US camo pattern. 345th PPD is a little bit looser. The normal stuff you're going to see at most places: Woodland M81, Tiger Stripe, solid OD green, solid black, and any black pattern. So that's like your black multicam, black scorpion, the subdued black, or that urban black digi stuff. That's fine, but as long as it's primarily black. In addition to that, any of the European style or the Russian style camo patterns are fine. So your Partisan, Flecktarn, any of the Betty's Reka patterns are fine. If you want to wear those blue-white striped shirts that I can never pronounce the word for, that's fine. If you want to get real hardcore and wear the camogram stuff, that's fine, but you have to run an AK. It's a stupid idea to wear that camo pattern at this event because everyone's going to think you're just wearing multicam, even though you've got an AK. But if that's all you've got, rock it. Bean kits are obviously okay. That's European style patterns. If you have any questions about what patterns are and are not allowed, bro, just hit me up. I go to bed at like 2 in the morning every night, just typing all this stuff up. Just hit me up. I'll be so happy. Or if you want to just post it in the comments and then someone else maybe can like read that question, that'd be cool too. Oh, weapon restrictions. I almost forgot. If you are the 1st Infantry Regiment, you may not use AK variation rifles. So no AKs, no RPKs, no SVDs, nothing like that. Pretty much anything else is okay. P90s, that's cool. G36s, that's fine. The Type 95s or SCARs, obviously M4s. Any of that stuff's fine, but no AK pattern or AK variation rifles. That's all. The 345th is allowed to use any gun type. You can use M4s, AKs, G36s, blah, blah, blah. Any gun type you're allowed to use. I'll briefly go over the kind of the uniform regulations as far as like the big stuff people usually ask me about. The only thing that is the quote-unquote uniform item is, by uniform item, I mean what you're being identified and associated with for your faction. Just your uniform top. It has to be either a military combat shirt or like a duty blouse, like a BDU style blouse. You cannot go to Walmart, get like a tiger striped hoodie and wear that. No. This is a military cosplay event, military items. Unless you are a minor. If you're 17 or young, so if you're between 13 and 17, you can wear a piece of civilian clothing. So let's say you were 1st Infantry Regiment and it's you and your uncle, but you don't have, a multicam combat shirt or whatever. You don't want to spend the money on it. Okay, well, if you have like a brown hoodie, that's fine. That'll work. That might be confusing for some players. You might get shot, but you're allowed to at least participate in the event. Or if you're with a 345th PPD, you could wear a solid black long-sleeved hoodie. Make sure it's long sleeve so you can be identified. Like, I don't think anyone's going to be wearing short sleeves in the winter, but for the sake of regulation, long sleeves. Your pants have to be, obviously they have to be pants, and they have to be either faction colored or blue jeans. So if you are on the 1st Infantry Regiment, you cannot wear solid black pants. Solid black is a 345th color, so you would have to wear blue jeans or like multicam pants. That's fine. You can mix and match though. So let's say you were wearing like the old school gray ACU top and multicam bottoms. That's totally fine. It doesn't have to match. It just has to be faction colored or faction camo pattern. Does that make sense? No hunting camouflage. That will be yellow rocks. I don't care what color your gear is. So if you're 1st Infantry Regiment and you're all OCP'd out, but you have a black plate carrier, that's perfectly fine. That's okay. As long as you kind of keep in mind, most likely people are just going to go, he's got a black thing on, so he must be in the 3-4, shoot that guy, blah, 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 blah. That'll probably happen. Look, I've been in the game for a minute. That's usually what happens. You're wearing OCPs, you're wearing solid black, like a solid black plate carrier, you get shot for wearing a solid black plate carrier. But you can do it. You cannot wear any clothing items or any pieces of equipment that are red or like that bright safety green or yellow, because those are admin colors. If you have like a real world med pouch, so say you have like an allergy and you have like your atropine or whatever, your shots in your little medic pouch, that's fine. Or if you have asthma and you want to keep your inhaler in a red medic pouch for real world emergencies, that way if something happens and you're having problems getting to that piece of medical equipment, we can all see, go, oh, I bet it's in that red real world med pouch. That's one of the reasons why we have that. But it's also admin colors as well. Equipment rules, pretty basic. No extended triggers, no feathering, so you will have to keep your thumb wrapped around your pistol grip. You cannot feather, what all the cool, speedy, edgy boys like to do. You may not use a drum magazine except if you're an LMG. I'll go over that in a bit. High caps are fine. As long as it's no more than like a 450 BB limit, that's fine. So those 500 or 700 round high caps, nope. But the standard G&G 450, go for it. Bring all those ones that you want. HPA magazine adapters are not allowed. So like the primary M4 adapters for high kappas, the Monk adapters, nope. M4 adapters are not allowed. So you don't have to use standard capacity. You could bring an extended mag for that if you want. So if you're running a pistol, you're basically running magazines. So if you want to run extended magazines in your pistol, that's fine. It's probably not the best idea, but you can do it. Or if you have like HBA tapped magazines, like the old school CQB Russian taps, that's fine. But no magazine adapters for HBA. For this event, we're not allowing shields because shields are just a big pain in the butt to deal with, so we're not having them. If you're running a pistol, it must have a holster. If you want to just put it in a mag pouch, that's perfectly fine. But pistols in pockets is a no-go. It has to have some sort of retention to it. For this one, standard airsoft guns only, no blank fire, and keep your Nerf guns off the event. EG67s are going to have a 10-foot kill radius. If you're behind a bush and it goes off, yeah, bro, you're dead. But if you're on like the other side of like this big cement wall, even though it's technically less than 10 feet from you as the crow flies, there's no way that would have realistically done anything. That's fine. That's hard cover. That's fine. Other than tag and master keys, the only thing you're allowed to put in your 203 launchers are gas-powered shower shell style 203 nades. That's it. No Reapers. If it fires any sort of single projectile, it's not allowed. So no chalk and no foam rounds for 203s. If you have a 203 nade that you're curious about, just hit me up. I'll let you know. To make Chrono go a little bit easier, please show up to the Chrono station with your faction top on. That's going to help my guys identify and make sure that you're good to go to have the weapons that you have. If you would like, you can just bring an empty magazine up to Chrono and we'll have BBs for you. Or if you want to use your BBs, that's totally fine. Just let our staff know what weight you're using. The BB limit for this event is .32s and all BBs have to be biodegradable. I'm probably going to increase the sniper DMR and LMG allowance if enough people ask for it. But for snipers, they have to be bolt action. You're allowed to go up to 2.8 joules with .32s, and you have a 100-foot MED. If you have just like a regular VSR-10 and it's under 1.87 joules, it's not a sniper. Just register as a rifleman, and then you're allowed to just one-tap dudes all over at 0 MED with up to 1.87 joules or 400 feet per second with .2s. But if you have like the amoeba strikers that aren't even hitting 400 feet per second, you're a rifleman. You're a rifleman for the sake of registration. DMRs are going to be kind of the same way. You're going to have 2.8 joules with a 100-foot MED, or you can go up to 1.63 joules and have 0 MED and just still be considered a rifleman. LMGs are allowed to go up to 2.08 joules with a 50-foot MED, and you can go up to 30 rounds per second. If you have like a 249 that's shooting around like that 380-400, you're still going to have to register as an LMG user. You just don't get to shoot as hot. Big deal. All AEGs and GBBRs can go up to 1.48 joules. If you want to do a 3-round burst option, you can knock it down to 1.15 joules, but it must be a specific 3-round burst function. You cannot just hold full auto down for like a second or two. No. It's either a specifically calculated 3-round burst or it's not. That's how we're playing that rule. Even with a 3-round burst, you have to have at least a half second in between, so you can't just like be constantly spamming 3 rounds over and over again. We're not playing that silliness. If your HPA is semi-locked, you can go up to 1.48 joules with 0 MED, and same thing, you can also do a 3-round burst for 1.15 joules. Same thing. Same rules apply. Pistols, same thing. Pistols can go up to 1.15 joules, and you can also use a 3-round burst. I think some of them, like I think those Marui M9s have 3-round burst settings, but again, you cannot just hold down full auto for like a quick amount of time. We will not allow that to happen. Bang kills are optional because bang kills are kind of stupid. The way the hit calling is going to work is anyone is a medic. So if you get shot anywhere on your person and gun hits don't count, all you do is just kind of raise your hand, announce hit, sit down, put your little dead rag over your head, and then just wait for your medic to come by. Medic's going to show up. You will give your medic or your teammate, basically, I'm just going to call it a medic, give them your bandage or mock tourniquet or whatever. Your teammate applies it, and then you're good to go. Once you run out of bandages and then you get hit again, you just walk back to respawn, reset all your bandages, go back to BB Wars. We're going to have a pretty simple task organization. We're going to have a commander that I'm going to appoint. I'm going to have platoon leaders that I'm still handpicking also, and then platoon leaders are going to pick their squad leaders. If squad leaders want, they can have team leaders just for the sake of organization. But there is going to be like structure to this. It's not just going to be 100, go. That's chaos. Anyone that's ever been to those events, it's not as fun. So we are going to have some structure to this. And I'm going to try and encourage as much leadership communication, specifically with commanders and platoon leaders, to their players as much as possible. That's why I've got the Facebook groups, the Discord stuff going on, and probably a couple email blasts as well. Weapon-specific rules. Snipers, obviously they have to be bolt action, so no one with like a sniper delay. We're not doing that. You have to carry a secondary if you're a sniper with an MED. Magazines can't exceed 75 BBs. You have to have an optic that looks like it could have feasibly been like a 4 power or greater. So you can't just show up with like this beefy rifle with no optic. Look, man, this is cosplay. We're dressing up and looking like Call of Duty characters. You can't just 360 no-scope people all day, all right? You have to play the role and look like you're playing the role. DMRs are squad designated marksmen. This is the same way. The big thing for the DMRs is I'm not allowing anything that takes an M4 to be a DMR. We're not so it has to be basically replicated after like a 30 caliber cartridge and up. So like your M14s are fine. If you want to have like a M1 that's sort of decked out, that's cool. Or like an AR-10 style platform, that's fine also. But no M4s are going to be DMRs for this event. It's just, don't even ask. LMGs actually have to be replicated after a light or heavy machine gun. So BARs, RPKs, 249s. If you got an M60, bro, bring that thing. That's fine. No Crytek LMGs. No, that's not going to work. No M27s, because that's, look, everyone's just going to show up with their M4 full autoing. People go, oh, it's okay, it's an M27. Nope, that's not cosplay enough for this event. All LMGs are going to have to carry either a pistol or a shotgun as a secondary. You carry a shotgun as a secondary, that's totally fine. Most guys are probably going to carry pistols. Rifleman is basically everyone else. Only riflemen can have 203s on there. Riflemen cannot have optics that look like they're any powerful than, so like I shouldn't see any like 9 powered giant hunting scopes on an M4. Like, what are you doing? Nothing more than a 4 power, bro. If you want to carry a pistol or a shotgun as a rifleman, you're more than welcome to. That's fine. Little weird, little unnecessary, but hey, so is Airsoft. Machine gun teams will be assigned by the commander. It's going to consist of 1 LMG and 1 rifleman that acts as the A gunner that no one needs in Airsoft, but that's how we're writing the cosplay. At the start of each iteration, that machine gun team is going to be ahead of the main army. You're not allowed to be any closer than 50 yards from the other team's spawn, and you're not allowed to be any closer than 25 yards from any of the 3 objectives. That way you can't just like objective camp from the jump. Like you have to actually try. Timeline for the event, we are going to have early check-in, early chrono on Fridays for anyone that can show up. That always makes Saturday check-in a little bit easier. If you can make that, that's pretty good to go. That's also going to be a little bit easier from your perspective and from our perspective. Saturday check-in is going to start at 9. I am hoping to have all that done by 10:30 at the latest and start briefing. I am trying to start I'm trying to blow the whistle no later than about 11:30. Probably about 2 p.m. we'll probably go into our first ceasefire and do about a 1 hour lunch break. From experience, any more than about 2 to 3 hours of consistent consecutive gameplay for the expected level of player, that's when it kind of like that 2 hour mark is when it starts to get ragey. So I'm trying to cut it off right at about there. We do a 1 hour lunch break. I'm trying to get food trucks. Bro, it's a struggle right now. I'm gonna be real, but I'm trying. That's why you get an hour for lunch. We go into our second iteration at about 3:10, and then we play for about another 2 hours. Call it a day, give out all kinds of free stuff, and then God bless, thank you for coming out, and go home, have a great day. The way we're going to run Saturday Chrono is I'm going to have 2 check-in tents, easy up tents, basically, for the 1st Infantry Regiment, and then another 2 for the 345th. So you will have 2 faction-specific tables. No, we're not going to use the main pro shop because it's going to be too many people for such a small space. So we're going to do 4 total booths for probably about the first 40 minutes or so, or, depending on how crazy packed it gets. 2 for the 1st Infantry Regiment, 2 for the 345th. What you're going to get at check-in is a check sheet. And you're going to go station to station, knock all those out. You're going to come back when that check sheet is done, and that's how you get your wristband. If you don't have a wristband, you ain't gonna play. After you get your initial check sheet from your faction check-in, you will go to the pre-order item pickup. If you have any items, this is probably gonna be run by the Predator Paintball guys that are gonna come out and help us with that. If you don't have any items, you could just skip that. From there, you're gonna go to Chrono, and you're gonna also wear your eye protection that you'll be playing with. So not just like, eyeglasses or front-facing glasses or whatever, your actual full seal eye protection you'll be playing with. That way, we can check off your guns for Chrono and your eye protection as well. After that, you're going to come all the way down here, and you're going to check in with your faction leadership. So that's either going to be the commander or one of the platoon leaders, and they're going to make sure that you know what platoon and squad you're in. That way, there's some sort of organization, so it's not just, all right, you guys go over there, you guys go over there, ready, go. I actually want to organize this thing really well. The 5 tasks you're going to have to accomplish, 4 and an optional. The first task is obviously check-in. At check-in, you're going to get your check sheet, and then you're going to get your waiver verified. Ahead of time on the roster, will have it marked off if we have you for having a waiver ahead of time. So that's, one less step you have to worry about. Really, it's going to save my guys a lot of time because they're not going to have to take the time to type your name in. If you have items that you pre-ordered, if you pre-ordered BBs or, Enola Gaye stuff or tourniquets or whatever, you're going to go pick it up at item pickup, and then you get that box marked off. After that, you're going to go to Chrono. If you want to bring an empty magazine and we can use our BBs, that's fine. If you want to use your BBs, that's also fine because our Chronos are going to be pre-programmed for 2, 2, 3, 2, 5, 2, 8, 3, and 3, 2. Please try to remember to wear your event eye protection to Chrono. If you forget, you forget, and any staff member is going to be able to sign off on that. So you could probably just go back and get that checked off when you go to get your wristband. That's totally fine. But as long as you understand that we will look at your full seal eye protection and check it and make sure that it is fully sealed before you get a wristband. After that, you're going to go to faction check-in, and then you're just going to be like, hi, I'm Jimmy. How's it going? They'll be like, oh, hi, Jimmy. You are in 1st Platoon. That's your platoon leader. Say hi. And you're in B Squad. Ta-da! After that, you're going to go back to the first check-in station. You're going to hand in your check-in sheet, and they're going to go, yep. Here's your wristband. Go get your gear ready and get ready for the safety brief. And that is it. If you have any questions, Discord, Instagram, Facebook, email, all kinds of cool ways to do it. If you want to hit me up directly, TA_Caber, CABER on Instagram. That's the best way to get a hold of me directly. Or if you have questions and you want to email, make sure you're not sending it to the czpbas@gmail. That goes to James. So that's for like party reservations and all that stuff. If you have a question about OP Homefront, do not use that email. Use this email, because this email goes to me. That's czpaint530@gmail.com. That email goes to me directly. It's tied to my phone. You'll probably get a response back, I don't know, like an hour or something. Otherwise, I hope to see all you guys there. I hope this is like really exciting for everyone. I had a blast doing this. So I will see you guys on the 3rd of December. Bye-bye.